everybody, and welcome to another extremely awesome and exciting episode about sleeping with dead people. My name is Sir Ofnir because I chose that guy early on. Turns out he's not as great as I was thinking. I just thought he was super smart, and turns out he's a shyster, but I didn't know that when I started. And that I sleep in the bed I make, even if there is a pale woman from another country who is a tarnished who is trying to take my essence. I will sleep there.
I mean, some people are into that.
Go for it, you know?
Me, Alexander Iron Fist. You know, I also picked this person because I was originally Bach, and after I killed Bach, I just didn't feel right carrying on his namesake. I don't know how jars sleep.
Well, jars, they have like a bunch of different consciousnesses
Inside
of them because they're made up of lots of people's goop.
Yeah, so like maybe 47 of my consciousnesses are sleeping and the other 36 of them are just like whirling about talking shit.
So if you like ate all of the 1989 Denver Broncos, you would have a lot of Bronco feelings inside of you.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Yeah, but I don't know who Alexander's all eaten other than champions from Radon's festival. He takes lava bats. Hi, everybody. This is Elden Dogs, and this is your favorite podcast about Elden Ring and Deathbed Companions and the God of Death and Godywn the Golden. The poor guy's been through a little bit. We're going to be drinking a delicious beer from the Twin Cities from Dangerous Man Brewing. So Tyler, you've had the peanut butter porter.
Yep. Is that what this one is?
This is the chocolate milk stout.
I have not had this one.
And chocolate milk stout is what they were at least most known for when I lived in there.
That is simply heavenly.
Smooth. It's very delicious. So, how you doing today, Alexander?
I am so just sleepy.
Yeah?
I'm not hungover, although I did close down the bar last night. I am just running on no sleep.
Running on no sleep,
Yeah.
This guy.
I got a dog now.
He's got a dog, and it's very exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, did I tell you what Frank did?
No.
He busted out of his kennel and smashed my TV.
He broke your TV?
Yeah, and then knocked my PlayStation off
The PS5?
Yeah, and then knocked my Switch out of the dock. Everything still works, but
Not the TV.
the TV's got some crushed bits to it. I got it working well enough.
Crushed bits.
Well, like the casing's cracked and broken. The back of it's dented. I'm pretty sure one of the HDMI ports is gone, but I was able to get it working enough to hold me over till I can buy a new one. But I love my dog.
I have a smaller HD TV you might be able to borrow in the meantime if you need it.
I'm still rocking the broken one.
The bits.
Yeah, it only looks bad sometimes.
So when we last left off Elden Dogs, we were finishing up Nocron with Gary Butterfield. Shout out to our homies at Watch Out for Fireballs. They just had their 400th episode.
Wow.
Congrats. It's a lot. And so we discussed a lot about all those wonderful people down there, the Nox and the ancient followers.
And their liquid metal swords.
And their metal balls.
Yeah.
And their roly ball consciousness, their max evolution. But today we are going to keep going further in. Today's topic is going to be the Deeproot Depths and the Nameless Eternal City. And when you start talking about this stuff, that means we need to have a little story time before we go any further. So join us, won't you? We're going to start with Fia, the Deathbed Companion.
Deathbed Companion sounds like an album that Death Cab for Cutie would put out.
Yeah.
And that's a good name for a band title or a album. Someone should definitely do something about that.
I mean, the Deathbed Companion is an odd job.
Yeah.
What was the first thought you had when you ran into Fia at the round table hold?
This lady's going to give me a hug. She's not trying to kill me. That was my first thought.
She isn't trying to kill you.
No, but I believe there is something a little more sinister with her hug. I don't think it's all roses.
There is an ulterior motive.
There definitely is.
So Fia, she's from another land. She's not originally from America. She was awakened by the summons of grace, so she became a tarnished and essentially they're like, yo, you are showing a lot of American in you, and we want you out of here. Yeah. And so she had to leave, but her job over there was deathbed companion, and a deathbed companion is somebody who gives a lot of hugs to a lot of people and absorbs a little bit of their life essence, and then they take all of this essence and they lay down with an exalted noble. So essentially, if you're rich enough, you can pay some lady to give you hugs while you're dead to try and bring your spirit back, to bring you back to life. Sounds like a rough gig.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dirty job. I think Mike Rowe did it on an episode.
I wish I could do a Mike Rowe impression because, yeah, that is a dirty job.
Yeah.
All right, gonna just jump in this coffin here. Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she seeks to help. Well, she comes to the lands between, and we're tarnished, kind of get pushed into, and she decides she has a new goal, and she wants to help those who live in death. So those who live in death are people who have been touched by Deathroot, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Night of Black Knives in a bit, but essentially Deathroot is coming up through the roots of the Erd Tree and causing some tibia mariners, some little boat boys, and some skeletons to run around, cackling and dancing and saying, we're not dying anymore. And she wants to help them, those who live in death. And that's kind of what her mission is. And the way she wants to do that is to bring Godywn, bring his essence back to life, to make a union with him. Some weird shit. And she essentially, though, she wants to help those who live in death. And on the other end of the spectrum are the Golden Order and the Brothers D. These guys are kind of donks. I think that they think they're cool. They think they're hardcore.
They definitely do.
It's like I think there's a lot of good ideas in religion, and then there is Beverly Keane in Midnight Mass, and yeah, they're kind of on that end. So yeah, Deathbed Companion. I did want to talk about that a little bit. So. Sacrificial vessel charged with gathering the life force of willing champions. We mentioned that.
But so she grabs the life force from a willing participant and then tries to transfer that to a deceased nobleman or somebody who had the cash to buy their services.
Yeah. I did go down a Wikipedia hole about Deathbed Companions. So ancient Rome had bustuaries, is what they were called.
No shit. This is actually like a real thing.
Cemetery prostitutes who worked independently of the brothel system. And since they were outside of the system, they had to do it in sketchy places. So bustuaries would be running their private, independently owned prostitution trucks out of graveyards.
That's spooky. But kind of sexy.
Yeah. Not against it. During the daylight hours, bustuaries worked as mourners for hire, crying over the bodies of the dead, whose crypts they would later defile.
Okay, not as sexy anymore.
Well, I mean, when they defile, they're just boning on top of a grave.
Oh, yeah, still no.
No, that's where you're drawing the line.
That's where I draw the line.
Oh, okay. Bustuaries were known to paint their skin pale and mark their eyes with dark makeup, giving them the appearance of death. Apparently, one of the more alluring aspects of bustuaries.
That's wild. I did not know that. That's a real thing.
Yeah. The opening cinematic shows Thea, the deathbed companion, laying with an exalted noble, and it looks like she's naked. They will, when they talk about laying with people, laying with the dead. I mean, if you want to believe that they're out there boning them, you can. I mean, it seems to be more implied of like an intimacy.
I always took it as like just sharing the bed at that point. Because, I mean, the word lay obviously could have a connotation attached to it. And you can really believe whatever you want. But I think it is literally just sharing the bed and the essence.
The intimacy.
Yes.
Whispering to each other.
Sweet nothings in a dead man's ear.
Sharing farts under a blankie.
Dutch oven a dead man.
I will now Dutch oven the dead man, and I will pass my essence on to him.
That's how South Park would cover this.
When she came to the lands between, she met a man named Lionel, the Lionhearted, and this is the big boy. You've seen the armor of like the big, like,
Yeah, I have it.
and
Yep.
like he has that big long hat. Yeah,
But he wasn't always that. He wasn't that big, right? Like that was an intimidation tactic.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
he was
little
a skinny
fella
guy
inside.
under there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wore extra sweatshirts underneath his outer shirt to make it seem like he had muscles. But he attends Radon's festival, and he declares himself to be the father. He's like, I will be the father of Fia. And it could be a weird translation. He could just want to be Fia's daddy.
Yeah.
He might be laying. He does lay with her for sure, but it's implied he takes a fatherly role with her. This guy Lionel uses death sorceries and wields a Prince of Death staff, so he's involved in this dark shit. And you get his armor in the lower capital church in Leyndell, next to Fia's clothing.
Yep.
Yep. And it looks like it was on a bed, so they were laying there before they were killed by this omen killer. But yes, she is gathering energies to conceive a new rune with Godywn. The first time you give her a hug, I was weirded out. I never know when I'm supposed to hug people in these games or kill
Yeah.
people. Invariably, it'll be the wrong decision.
Almost always, in my case.
Yeah. And she's like, you want to have a hug? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of seeing someone. But there's this weird thing that also happens when she gives you a hug. And data miners found this where it's like they were grabbing like data packets off of your character and they're like, what's happening there? Something is happening where they're like taking your information and it just like it's going somewhere. And later on, you fight these champions and they're all recreations of people who've been hugged. So chances are you've been fighting people as a boss somewhere.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I've given so many hugs.
Dude.
I kind of made
You'll hug anyone, dude. I've seen you all around town hugging people.
Dude, I tried to. Yeah, I'll hug you. You come within a hugging distance, I'm gonna get you. I had it canon that my character was kind of sad because he was constantly dying all the time, and he needed the hugs.
Yeah.
I'd never really used the thing she gave me from the hug, though.
Well, it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
The Baldachin's blessing.
I tried to wrap my brain around it, like they were trying to trick me.
Well, when you carry it, you have a permanent negative 5% max HP.
Yeah,
When you have the item, it's a single-use item, and if you use the item, then it gives you a 15-second boost in poise. So that's good to have that. You won't get knocked over for that 15 seconds, but until you use it, you are dropping your max HP, which is not good. Yes, she'll give you this item though, and then we also run into another fella in the Round Table Hold, or you might meet him outside in Limgrave. D, Hunter of the Dead. I think that both D, Hunter of the Dead, and D, Beholder of the Dead go by D because if they were to say, hi, I'm Devin, or hi, I'm Darian, it wouldn't
Yeah.
seem as cool.
yeah. My name is Daniel. I hunt the dead.
Hi, I'm Daniel. What do you do? Oh, I'm Hunter of the Dead.
Yeah, on my weekends I don't, but it's a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
I love my job. I love killing people. They're already dead, though. But we meet D. He's an adherent of the Golden Order and an ally of the beast clergyman Garank, which we'll learn about him on another episode. But he's on a journey to weed out Deathroot, the festering remnants of the Rune of Death. He is a zealot. He is very against these living dead girls, living dead people. Doesn't like Rob Zombie's music.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah, and it's of all the bad shit happening in the lands between to be like, nope, fuck those skeletons in particular. I'm like, there's a lot of shit happening here, man.
yeah.
You see what next door is Godric, and you don't give a fuck?
Do you know about grafting?
Do you know what he's doing in there? That's not his wiener.
Do you know how many hands he has now?
Yeah, you can shake his hands all day and not do the same one twice.
Yeah.
weird stuff's going on.
He does pick-
He could be his own band, Godric.
He really could.
You know that like those guys that just walk around with the drum sets and like a guitar?
And like a harmonica around there.
He could just do all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, without having to be clever.
Too bad he's not good at anything and he probably has no musical talent.
I wonder if you graft, like if I grafted who's the best guitarist? We'll go Eric Clapton. If I grafted Eric Clapton's arms onto my back, could I play guitar with him?
Would they just know what to do?
Is there muscle memory there? Maybe.
Would you do it like early Grimace?
I would do early Grimace, yeah.
Like 2 arms right below your normal arms?
I would stop after getting the Goro set, and I would not graft anymore. I'm like, we're good. I don't need any more arms or legs or nothing. I'll be Goro for the rest of my life, and I'll just play guitar down low, and then I'll pump up the crowd with my top arms. Just raise the roof.
You could get a double neck guitar and play both necks at the same time.
Play bass and rhythm at the same time.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't do one at a time. Yeah, D, though, he's very much against those who live in death, and he is seeking to put a permanent end to them. If you weed out all the death root, they should stop coming back. And he has acquired the Hollow Brand from Godwyn's corpse, which we'll see Godwyn's corpse proper later on. But the Night of the Black Knives was what started all of this, the shattering, what started the collapse of the Golden Order. And we discover Ronnie orchestrated this, which we haven't done a Ronnie episode yet. That's going
to be a fun one.
It'll be either the next episode or the one after, depending on how long we talk about rotting stuff. We got rot. But yes, so Godwyn's corpse. Godwyn was killed with the Rune of Death. Ronnie had the Rune of Death stolen from Malekith. We're going to just get weird. Stolen from Malekith. They split this death rune in half, and she imprinted half of it onto the black knives that the assassins use, which were the Newman, which are part of the Nox, which are and then the other half she used to kill herself. And it happened at the same time. Ronnie killed her body, and Godwyn's soul was killed. So Godwyn's body is still living without a soul, and Ronnie is just a floaty soul girl now.
And I wonder if it's because she split the rune. Like, because the death rune is supposed to kill you body and soul.
Yep.
And splitting it. Did she know which side she had, I would assume? Because she achieved her plan, her purpose.
She wanted the greater will to no longer be able to see her, because they were keeping an eye on her and grooming her to be the next...
America's top idol.
Yeah, you're the next Clinton. You're the next Trump. You got the name.
Yeah.
You're America's daughter. We're into you.
Yeah.
Let's get you up there to the top.
You got to go to Harvard. You just got to get good grades. Don't get into trouble.
And we know you like witchcraft. We can bury it.
Yeah.
But so she essentially just wants to take the greater will's eyes off of her. And I do think it's funny, though, that everyone pictures Ronnie looking one way when she was very much just like a pale redhead.
Yeah, that video that you sent me, I was kind of shocked to see that, because that's not how I pictured her like body form.
Nope, she's not a 4-armed doll.
Yeah.
A blue doll. She was a person, a demigod, but Godwyn's corpse still had the hollow brand on it, the mark from the rune, half of it anyways. And it was acquired from Godwyn's corpse and brought to the Round Table Hold. Was it Darian? Was it Devin? They were involved, I would imagine. But that's also why Fia is in the Round Table Hold. She's trying to reclaim that, and she wants to get the other half of the Rune of Death. And she wants to take it down to Godwyn and just have a little nappy with him. Dutch oven his big old fish corpse. And
Dutch oven him right back to life.
Yep. She's just going to put the rune into the blanket, just have a big meal, and lay down. I mean, I don't even know. You need a big blanket. It's a big fish corpse.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
And I don't know why he's a fish, but... and Holobrand in Japanese is specifically called Saikon, which is stigmata in Japan, which I thought was interesting.
Really?
Yeah, the stigmata, the mark of the ritual, I suppose. Damn. But so D, Hunter of the Dead, he's recruiting you as like, yeah, fuck these nerds. We're going to go kill these dancing skeletons. But then there is another person we meet, the sorcerer, the spellblade, Rogier. You remember Rogier.
Number one homie.
Our first homie, really?
Yeah. I think he was the first person I ran into in the round table hold out in the world because I was up in the castle.
Yeah.
When I found him.
There's just Vare talking shit when you come out the front door, and he's like, hey, fuck you maidenless bastard.
Fucking look at you with no maiden.
And then we're like, Rogier's like, hey, man, you want to hang out? And he helps us fight Margit, which we appreciate that, Rogier.
Yeah, thank you and your big hat.
Us newbies were struggling.
I needed it.
But we find Rogier in Stormvale, and he is looking for something in the castle. And through some conversations with him, we find that he was actually looking for the corpse in the basement of Stormvale. And I remember first time seeing that down there being pretty, like, taken aback, sketched out.
Yeah, it was very ominous, especially because I'm being chased by something rather large at the moment.
The ulcerated tree spirit.
I got to get out of here. Wait, did you see that?
Dude, I did a bad jump, and I fell all the way down on top of the corpse. And I was like, oh no. Because I died when I landed, but I'm like, that's how I found it. I just fell down into the basement, and yeah. But so, yes, that actually isn't Godwyn's corpse, but it is the same, face, the same eyes. And when Godywn died, they took his corpse and they buried it at the roots, the proper roots, right underneath the Erd tree. They probably thought they were honoring him. Turns out it's just spreading all of his STDs around.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah. His death blight, his death root is being put out everywhere because the roots of the Erd tree go all over the place. But Rogier finds the corpse in the basement, and you can actually go down there, and when you use the little signs to see how people died?
Yeah.
You can see Rogier's death.
Oh, really?
He gets lifted up, and he gets death blight from the corpse. And that's why Rogier retires in the round table hold under the blanket, and he's like, I can't really move anymore. And you kind of become an agent for him.
That's also where you get the death blight medallion, isn't it? Down there? That protects you from
assist. You get like a pustule or something. Yeah.
Because I got that on accident running like a madman from the tree spirit. And that came in handy for me because I was a little glass cannon.
Yes. And I mean, that's just early game right there. It's like, well, I'm just going to run by you.
Yeah. There's no way that this is happening right now. I'm going to have to rain check with you.
It's like American Gladiators. You're getting shot everywhere, and you're just running through trying to grab stuff. Yeah. But Rogier and Fia have been sleeping together. And I don't think coitus. I think it is.
I believe that's the term.
It might be coitus. But because Fia, when you give her a hug, you can talk in secret, which I imagine is just, hushed tones. But she says, my dear, have you heard of the Black Knife Prince? Dear Rogier keeps talking about it in bed. So, and Rogier mentions that he used to hang out with Dee. They used to go to college together or whatever. They used to hang out.
They were in a frat together.
they were in a frat. They were going to start a business. But at some point, Dee really started talking about how he hates dead people. And he's like, you're being kind of lifist right now. And I can't be involved. Yeah, when homies, there's just like something that stops that friendship, pushes you away. But they used to be friends, and Rogier and Fia seem to be exchanging some ideas, helping each other out. And it's never explicitly stated that I don't think he is just working towards the same goal, but he does want to help those who live in death. They didn't choose to be dancing skeletons.
Yeah.
But also, is it not a mercy to stop them from being skeletons? None of them have ever talked or shown any signs of intelligence.
Yeah, they seem like mindless husks.
I wish there were more things in this world that didn't just blindly try and kill you.
Yeah. The only thing that's got a little personality is the Mariner, because he can play a trumpet or a horn of some sort.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wrote, he's got to be one of my favorite people to fight in the game because he's easy and it makes me feel good.
And I like boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not that tough, though. None of the Tibia Mariners are. But so Rogier and Fia help you find the black knife print. And that's in Liurnia. And Dee, the Hunter of the Dead, actually will go with you and fight the black knife assassin there to reclaim this knife print. And Rogier wants you to infiltrate Ronnie's group. And he explains to you, I'm trying to help those who live in death. And at this point, Rogier says, I think it was Ronnie. We found Ronnie's name in the black knife print. When you give it to her, you go along with more Ronnie quests. Eventually, you find her body and get the curse mark of death. This is the other half of the rune. And
you get this on the tower that flips upside down, right?
Yep, the old flippy tower.
Yep.
And Rogier passes away.
That's so sad.
And he tells you, I forgot to mention, but it seems that Dee has a younger brother. I heard he lies in a deep sleep in the aqueduct beside the eternal city of Nokron. And it said he stood before the Prince of Death not far beyond that spot. I imagine Fia told him. It could have been Darian, but the reason I think it's Fia, because it's at this point, Fia gives you a dagger, the weathered dagger, and she says, this doesn't belong to me. I think you know who it belongs to. You should go return it to him. And it's not like obvious. You're supposed to give it to Dee.
Yeah, no, not at all. And when I got it, I was like, oh, great. Here's something that I read the description. I'm like, okay, so now I have to play Guess Who to figure out who to give this to. But whenever I go to the round table hold, I always talk to everybody before I leave.
You make the rounds?
Guess who the next person I talked to was?
Dee.
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, well, that was easy.
He probably could hear you in the other room.
Yeah.
He's like, I can hear you over there.
This is not that big of a round table hold.
You are 2 rooms over. Close the door. But what is the thing that might make you believe it is his? The weathered dagger. It's a weapon of gold and silver intertwined. And if you look at Dee's armor, it's got that like wicked half silver, half gold. Because it looks like the 2 bodies.
Yeah.
One arm is silver, one arm is gold. And this is a weird aspect of Dee, because Darian, who is our boy in the round table hold, and Devin, they're twins. And they have one soul, which I don't know anything about that.
I'll allow it.
You'll let it go.
I'll allow it. With everything else that goes on in this game, sure, why not?
Yeah, I guess the Golden Order was the only one like who would welcome them in with their weird twinness. There's a lot of twins, a lot of duality, but they have one soul and 2 bodies, which I don't know, whatever. Seems like a lot.
It just reminds me of the movie Stuck on You with Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear and Cher.
That's the armor. Yeah, the Stuck on You armor instead of the twin armor.
And they do vaudeville together.
That's a weird movie.
I know, but it was one of my childhood movies, so I think about it far too often.
There's some movies that I can't imagine that they would get made again.
Yeah.
Shallow Hal? Come on.
Oh, no way.
It turns out it's okay to be fat. Yeah, you show Dee the dagger, and he's like, I know who this really belongs to. I'm going to give it back. Give it back to her. And then you reload, and you find Fia standing over Dee's corpse. I love that Fia got the upper hand on him.
Yeah, that was like an M. Night Shyamalan moment twist. I was like, how shocked were you?
Nothing was shocking me in this game at this point. I was like, oh.
Like when the one dude tries to attack you in the round table hold that one time, that was shocking.
Yeah.
This, though, I was like, I've been homies with you guys for like 65 hours now.
Turns out if you invite all your friends into one party, they might not like each other.
Yeah. You know who probably could have calmed the situation down? Bach. But I made him a fucking vegetable at this point.
As they just had too much to drink. And someone was like, I don't even think it's bad that some people live in death. And the other guy's like, fuck you.
How dare you?
And it's like, guys, go outside. Just smoke a cigarette. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But Fia misted this boy and gave him a little bit of death blight. And Dee is dead. And at this point, she gives you a warning too. She says, she issues a warning to the Round Table Hold. Back the fuck off. I'm going down to be with Godywn, and y'all can't stop us. And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, I am all aboard.
Yeah, I'm into this. I like this weird shit. But she reclaims the hollow brand is why she leaves as well. So she has Godwyn's half rune. She disappears. Dee is dead. We have his armor. Now we're going back underground.
Yes.
Our brief story time is over. So we're back in the Shifra aqueducts because the Nox are incredibly talented. They made an entire waterway system that controlled and powered their cities. These aqueducts are pretty awesome. It is ancient Rome. Yeah.
I mean, you're making aqueducts in civilization pretty early on, so I'm not going to give them that much credit yet. But doing it underground, a little more props.
Yeah, it's where you start.
Yeah. I mean, you got to bump that housing up.
You got to get those points.
Yeah.
And you got to get clean water everywhere.
That's true. How else are they going to capitalize on the rice farm?
Although all of this water is probably got a lot of dead Godywn in it. So it's just going downstream. And you're getting a lot of weird shit in that. I wouldn't drink any water in the lands between, to be honest.
No, it's like heavy water.
You can't find anything that we have the draughts that we have, the vials that we replenish ourselves with. That's good.
But that's just Mountain Dew and Monster Energy drink.
Yeah. There was cut content where you were actually going to get dream alcohol, which you'd have to give to people and make them go to sleep. And they actually, I think, referred to it as dream alcohol or something, but it got cut.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, we might do a cut content episode eventually. But the Shifra aqueducts, we're down here. There's a Crucible Knight. He's a dick.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting, though, that there is a limited number of Crucible Knights. And that was another cut content where they said there was specifically 12 of them or something, or 16.
Still too many.
Still
too many.
More than I want. You can get an incantation of the order healing down here on a scarab, and this is used by hunters of those who live in death. I like this description because it says, the noble gold mask lamented what had become of the hunters. So he's just that one reasonable person who's you guys are really not following the tenets of the church anymore. You're out here kind of being really extreme. He's like, this is not, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of people that do this. And but the order healing is down there and it alleviates death blight buildup. Makes sense. And we run into little Devin in the aqueducts. He's sad, sleepy, and not wearing armor. What did you think of when you saw Devin the first time?
I was psyched because I did like Dee. I was more on Team Fia, if I'm going to be honest.
Dee doesn't seem that bad at first. And you get it. Skeletons are bad.
And, he's very into his cause.
Yeah.
So I can give him a pass, but he didn't hug me once. So I'm on Team Fia.
Those hugs wouldn't be good. The giant extra head on the armor.
Poking into your chest. Yeah.
He always rests his hand on the head too.
It's kind of cute.
You like that?
It's kind of cute.
Well, he covers up the eyes too. He doesn't want the eyes to see what's happening.
Oh, really? Is he covering the eyes?
I don't know if Devin can feel through the eyes or see through the eyes, but
I always thought it was kind of paternal. I thought that for the longest time that he had a kid. But anyway, when I found little Devin, I was psyched because at this point in my first playthrough, I was really starting to grasp finally what was going on story-wise. Pieces started coming together.
Yeah.
So meeting him, I was like, yes, next piece of the puzzle, let's go.
Oh my God, it's another D.
I'm going to call you Little D.
This is Devin. They don't really use their names often because if you're trying to have a badass persona, you don't call yourself Darian. But Devin's down here, mumbling, incoherent. Apparently, he has stood in front of Godwyn's corpse, which kudos to you for getting that far. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But he is down here, and you can return the twinned armor to him. You can, like, give it to him. You're clearly Dee's brother. This was his armor. You should have it. It is possible for you to have been the one to kill Darian, because you can get him outside of the Round Table Hold and kill him outside of that village, Summonwater Village, early on in the game. If you do that and give him the armor, next time you come back, he just tries to kill you.
Oh, really?
Because he knows you killed his brother. Must be that dual soul thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he will join you to fight the Valiant Gargoyles, Sword and Twin Blade. These guys aren't too tough individually, but when you're halfway through one of them,
and another one fucking shows up,
and Macho Man comes in off the top rope doing a flying elbow drop.
Yeah. I was like, why? This isn't fair. I want to speak to a manager.
This, yeah.
Of the Aqueduct, please.
But if you brought another person, it's just doing a tag team match.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Valiant Gargoyles, their missing parts have been mended together with corpse wax. They're a patchwork of champions. They're kind of like jars just made up of a bunch of different corpses and waxed together. Normal things.
No, yeah.
Apparently that's not an issue for people, though.
Nothing to see here.
We're fine with that. These skeletons, though. Fuck these skeletons. Yeah, the Twin Blade joins in at 50%, and then you get these weapons from them as well. You can get the Vacuum Slice on the Gargoyle's Great Sword. It's like a little Clim Hazard attack from FF7. My first time playing this game, I thought that was the end of this section. It's a big arena.
Yeah.
I walked around, and I didn't know any better. I just like, oh, is that it? Did you find the coffin right away?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think I had to look it up. Because I fought the gargoyles alone several times and didn't have Devin's help. And I didn't know what to do with Devin. Like, I didn't really put two and two together as quickly as I should have.
You just walked by, you're like, I don't have any change.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry.
I have no cash.
And then once I was like, wait, oh shit, I got the armor. That's my bad. You can have it. I need to maintain a medium load anyway.
Giving him the armor will have negative effects for Fia.
See, that's why I hate this game sometimes. I just want to be everybody's friend. I just want to do the right thing.
And sometimes the best thing you can do is just
walk away.
Is just give a wide berth and walk around the sketchy person on the ground. Sometimes that's the best move. There's a coffin, though, at the end of this boss arena. And apparently your instinct is, okay, open it, crawl inside, and it takes you up a waterfall.
Physics.
Yes, it's perfect. It makes perfect sense.
Call it an old-timey elevator.
There are like runic words that go up, and they're kind of reminiscent of the Cypher Pata, that weapon with the Golden Order connections, but these runes are different. They have a different color. My instinct is that they're kind of Ul. The Ul ruins, which are the original civilization down there. They could also be Nox. Regardless, when it's mating season, the coffins go upstream. They return to their source. I don't know. But this is going to take us into the Deeproot Depths proper. Hello, we just took our coffin up the river, and now we're in the Deeproot Depths. It's just a big bunch of roots underground.
A lot of death blight.
A lot of death blight. The first we run into is an Erd Tree avatar, and these guys, I actually like the Erd Tree avatars enough. As far as boss battles are pretty cool.
They're all scripted the same way,
Ish.
essentially. Like their patterns aren't far off from each other.
Yeah.
So if you die once or twice, like I normally head it down after that.
This guy drops the Staff of the Avatar. It's the ceremonial staff depicting the Erd Tree and its historic radiance, wielded by the avatars who protect the minor Erd Trees. And what's great about this is it gives you the skill, the Erd Tree Slam, the butt bomb.
Yeah. That's what the wrestler Vader.
Vader bomb?
The Vader bomb. That's what.
All right, we got a big wrestler. What's his move going to be? Can we do something with his butt?
Can we do this? You goddamn right we can.
He's got a butt thing he can do or something?
He's going to drop it. We're going to call it the Veda bomb.
So, Rikishi, we can't do the Veda bomb with him. What are we going to do? Just have him put his butt on a dude's face. Yeah. We'll call it the stink face.
Yay. You have a motorboat to do with your ass?
Clap them cheeks.
You're going to be a star, kid.
You're going to be a star. So, Rikishi is kind of what this Erd Tree avatar is. But this is the strongest of the butt slam techniques out of the two. So if you like the butt slam, if you like that's your build as the butt slam guy, you're going to need this.
And somebody probably is.
If someone's doing a Vader cosplay in this.
Yeah.
And also you get the Golden Land, Ash of War nearby by a scarab. And this is one of the Erd Tree avatar's skills where it like summons little gold bullets and shoots them at you. That's one way to get to the Deeproot Depths. The other way to get into this area, though, is by the Frenzied Flame prescription. Because if you are able to find that room with the 3 fingers, there's also another hidden wall in that room, which takes you down into the Deeproot Depths.
Directly from the room with the 3 fingers in it?
The next to that room, yeah.
Where you take off all your clothes?
Yep.
That room.
The room with the Site of Grace.
There's a hidden wall?
There's a hidden wall there. There's a lot of hidden walls there.
No shit.
Yep. So it's cool. You can actually go from Leyndell all the way down to the roots of the Erd Tree.
That's wild.
With no broken anything. It's really cool. I'd like to see somebody map out the actual height distance from Leyndell to Godywn, because they could do that because it's all one consistent, unbroken path if you go this way. If you go this way, though, you start up at the Deeproot Depths much higher, and you kind of platform down on the roots while fighting a bunch of ants. If you do come this way, you can get a really cool incantation, the Elden Stars. This legendary incantation is one of the most ancient of those that derive from the Erd Tree. It is said that long ago, the Greater Will sent a golden star bearing a beast into the lands between, the final boss of the game, and started all this nonsense. But this beast would become the Elden Ring. And this spell summons a slow-moving gold projectile that rapidly shoots off smaller projectiles. The caster can move. You can move with the spell and perform other actions while the projectiles are active. It's a pretty cool incantation. But yeah, so you either jump down these routes to get down here, or you arrive by coffin and go across these routes to get to the main area. We'll see a palm reader over here, which it's a pretty generous way of saying a finger sucker.
Yeah.
Can I have your fingers in my mouth, please?
She found a way to capitalize off of her kink, and she's killing it.
She's killing it.
She's killing it.
Imagine you go in to get your like palm read, and she's like, put those digits in my mouth.
And you're like, I'm sorry, what?
I need to taste them.
Did you say taste? I thought you were just going to read the lines.
Yes, I see you have a father issue. Give me that pinky. I see you don't wash your hands often. These ladies used to interpret the giant hairy wigglers, but now they just want to suck on fingers, which slurp slurp. This one, though, doesn't even ask for your fingers. She's pretty lost. She's moaning about Lord Godywn, such cruelty, such humiliation. My poor sweet lordling should have died a true death, as the first of the demigods to die, as a martyr to destined death. But why must it yet bring such disgrace? Essentially, she's very upset about what happened to Godywn, and she's down here cursing it. But this leads us into the Nameless Eternal City. This was another part of the Nox. This is destroyed this city. And we talked a lot about this in the last episode about where this city came from. Part of me does like the idea of it being, because it's directly below like the missing part of Leyndell.
It just fell right down, right?
You also wouldn't imagine the buildings to stay together too much. They do fall apart. I mean, but like a building falls, it pretty much just breaks.
Yeah, and this thing fell a ways.
Mm-hmm. But then I was thinking, did the Nox build this city because it's close to the roots of the Erd tree, and they were maybe trying to get ready to do something down here.
Yeah.
I could see that. Estelle, the natural born, which we'll see next episode. I believe it crashed into here, though. Like a Dave Matthews classic, just crashed into the nameless eternal city. And the city's destroyed. There's no stars down here as well because Astel took it. So it's just this like kind of foggy, murky, underground, nameless eternal city full of basilisks, which they're not bad, but they're scary. You know?
Yeah.
They're just little slithery boys. And when they jump up at you, if you're susceptible to death blight,
yeah,
you can go down pretty quick.
Creep me out with their big ass eyes.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention the eyes. Godwyn's eyes. You see them on the big corpse. Mm-hmm. You see them on the other corpse in Stormvale. They're also around where Deathroot is. You can see those same eye models on things, on enemies, on plants. So Godywn is out like spreading his eyes and seeing beyond his corpse.
That is so terrifying. It is just, and it's unnecessary. You're already poisoning the earth and or the lands between, and just about anything that touches you. And then at the same time, you're going to be like spying on us.
Yeah.
It makes for a very sinister villain.
And Godywn, I don't think he has a lot of control of what he's doing. He's a body that's just festering alive without a soul or a purpose.
If all I could do was carve my face into different parts of the world through roots and stuff, maybe that's fun.
It's just such a George R. R. Martin thing too, just being carried around through roots. It's essentially werewoods. It's essentially the three-eyed raven. Extra eyes moving around in the world. It's very George, which we just watched most of season 8, and it's not as bad as I remember. It's still not good, but it's not as bad as I remember.
I haven't watched it since the day it aired.
There's still a lot of bad things about it. So we go downtown. We fight, we fight some basilisks. You can go in some of these buildings and, get some Astral Wars here or there. It's mostly a destroyed city with a lot of vagrants running around. There's a couple rune bears, though, and these are mean rune bears.
Easily the top 3 least favorite things to run into in the game, because I don't care how high a level I am, there's no good way to fight these fuckers.
I lose all composure immediately.
Yes.
I just devolve into dodge,
Yep.
run away, heal, shoot something, run away, heal, die.
I hate those things. They cover too much ground too quickly.
Fast, aggressive, strong. This rune bear, you can actually get the drop on it. If you go all the way up to the top, there's a hole and you can come down and just kind of like cheap shot it.
Snipe
at it. But if you kill this rune bear, it drops a Prince of Death's cyst, which is a piece of the face of Godywn. It's just holding on to it. It's a fetid, overgrown cyst that greatly raises vitality and raises resistance to the effects of death. Yeah. Increases vitality by 140 and improves resistance to death blight. So that's good. If you go northwest of downtown, we find a mini tree guarded by a Crucible Knight, and this is one of the 2 named Crucible Knights.
Oh, what's his name?
Her name, actually.
Her name
is Siluria. The other one is Ordovis, and Ordovis was outside of Leyndell in the hero's grave. But this is Siluria, and all the Crucible Knight's armor are either based on Ordovis, who's like the axe Crucible Knight, or Siluria, which is like the spear trident, the tree that she wields. And it has Siluria's Woe, which that's the Crucible Knights that go like, they shoot air at you.
Yeah.
So you can actually like blow enemies off of cliffs with this thing, which is kind of cool.
That would be nice.
And you get the Crucible tree set behind her, and holds the power of the Crucible of Life. The primordial form of the Erd Tree strengthens aspects of the Crucible incantations. So yeah, this is one of the 2 sets of the Crucible armor. If you want to be one of these enemies that are frustrating and powerful, and also like rune bears, makes me turn into a puddle and forget how to play a game. Yeah, this is where you get the armor down here.
A rune bear and a Crucible Knight, and a Crucible Knight that's named nonetheless, is just cruel. That's sinister.
And
but
basilisks.
Yeah, I mean, but to put those two, and the basilisk, shit, we'll throw them all three together.
Yep.
That's a tall order.
It's a lot in this one little area. Yeah, there's a wandering mausoleum up here too. And
Thank God that thing's not trying to kill you.
yeah. The one that does try and kill you in the consecrated snowfields, for some reason, fucked me up bad last time I was there.
Really?
Because it actually like shoots stuff at you and sends, raining down death. But this one, you can actually jump on it. If you go up the roots and get around the basilisk, you can just jump right on top of it and not have to attack it from the feet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's okay. I also was looking into translations. The Wandering Mausoleum in Japan, rather than being called unwanted child, they're referred to as ugly bastards or ugly spawn, which I think is kind of cool.
That's kind of metal.
The translations, I like that stuff. If you go to the north end of this area, you find the Mausoleum Soldier Ashes. This is where the headless dudes that follow the mausoleums, they're good. They're all right. I've never cut my head off because I believe in something so much, but
Yeah, no, I need mine.
yeah, I'm like, I really support this cause.
Yeah.
I can't.
I love My Chemical Romance. I'm not going to lose my head about it.
I'm drawing the line.
Yeah.
But at this point, there's only one way to go, and it's up. And these broken statues are all over these roots, and they can like shoot stuff at you and like throw like flame mist at you. They're dicks.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
I was very cavalier with my first try through here, and I think one of them killed me. After like getting through, I remember the room bear whipping my ass, and I was mad. And then to be killed by like a flame statue, I was like, "Are you fucking?"
And these statues aren't tough. It is the being on a narrow walkway. You get hit once, and you can fall to your death. And you're just trying Leroy Jenkins it, and you try and just take your horse like, woo, fuck yeah.
If we run fast enough, they won't catch us.
And I'm dead. Yes, these broken gargoyles, you also see them, first time that I saw them was in Leyndell. So this partially makes me think, how'd they get up there? They can't walk. They must have been put on there.
Yeah, I blame the Nox.
Someone put them up there to stop people from getting up to Godywn. And maybe Leyndell set these up as a defense to try and keep people from fucking around with the corpse of the golden boy, the golden god. But if you get all the way up there, right before the top, you can find the Prince of Death's staff, which is a staff embedded with sullied amber, said to be a very part of the Prince of Death, enhances death sorceries, and it actually scales with faith and intelligence, which is weird. Boosts death sorceries by 10%, and this was wielded by Lionel, the Lionhearted. So this is a staff that is very much associated with the Prince of Death, is what Godywn is referred to as. And
his agenda lined up with Fia's, and his staff being up here means that he made it at least that far, right? Then
Lionel, I think maybe Fia brought it down here, or Lionel either like brought it here and left it and went back up, which can you fast travel as well if you're other tarnished? Because otherwise you're doing a whole lot to go down and back up. I don't know if you could. I guess you could coffin back to Nokron. I'd go the Nokron path rather than through the Lake of Rot. But
could you imagine when he got home and it was like, oh, fuck, I forgot my keys. He's like,
I forgot the staff.
I'm such an idiot.
Oh, I'm not going back.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Never did it. He put it off. That's probably it. Yeah, he just forgot his keys downstairs.
Like, son of a bitch. I knew I was forgetting something. My load was way too light.
I won't go back to the kitchen if I sit down in the other room. I'm like, well, I'm just not eating, I guess. I'll order some food. Yeah, the Prince of Death is there, but we get to the top, and this is where we've been trying to get for a while. We see Godwin's corpse, and it's just a giant upside-down looking head. You can see arms. Yeah, it's got a vague shape of a body.
It does vaguely look like is it the load screen with his arms tied up, or is it separate in the game?
Oh, yeah. Because in that one, at least in the opening cutscene, you see Godwyn's like fucking toned back. That dude was ripped.
Yeah, he's got are they delts?
He's got 10 delts.
He's got delts on delts.
Dude, delts on delts. You can see him getting stabbed the night of the Black Knives.
Yeah.
Long, beautiful hair. Long blonde hair. Yeah. Godywn was the eldest of the demigod children, the most handsome. He could throw a football so far. Great grades, great smile. By all accounts, Godywn was, they call him the golden one, the golden guy.
Yeah.
Godywn the golden.
Bet you I could throw a football over the mountains.
And Godric was just like a little kid looking up. He's like, someday I'm going to be as cool as that guy.
I'm going to have fucking 14.
And I'm going to have 70 arms. It's like, you had us in the first half.
I can't throw a football that far, but I can throw 70 of them.
I can throw 70 at the same time. Yep. During, there was a war with the Dragons when Godywn was still head of the football team. And he fought with Fortisax. The Dragons attacked Leyndell, and Godywn and Fortisax had an epic battle, and Godywn won. And rather than kill Fortisax, he spared him. And at that point, Fortisax and him became homies. They went to, they shared a limo to prom.
This is exactly the dream.
Yeah. They owned a ranch together. They were homies. They looked after each other. And this was when the dragon cult started spreading in Leyndell, the dragon religion. And yeah, so Godywn was by all accounts, despite, you want him to be a bad guy because he's so handsome and smart.
You want to root against him.
But he's just so nice. And even the dragons like him. It's like, God damn.
You are one charming motherfucker. I'll give you that.
And
it also helps that you didn't kill me.
Ronnie could have chosen any of the demigods, I believe, to kill. I don't know if she chose Godywn as an ultimate fuck you to Marika or Radagon. Or, she could have done it to a different demigod.
But she had to take out the golden child, I think. I think it is kind of a fuck you. Because she's like, I'm going to go where you can't see me and fuck off. And then
they're
just
like,
kind of fade away.
Morgoth is sitting right here and you killed Godywn. Wrong kid died.
Wrong kid died.
We have two omens right here. They can't even wipe their own butts. Got horns coming through their fucking eyeballs and you chose Godywn? You see his blonde hair?
Have you seen his delts?
I loved him more than you. Wrong kid died. Godywn and Fortisax were homies. I put down Fortisax's sister was Lanciax, who befriended Festering Fingerprint Vike. So they have their own family drama going on there too. And she also could turn into a human priestess, and she might have been fucking humans as a human dragon.
Why not? If you can turn into a human.
I haven't drawn the line yet in this game. I'm like, yep,
sure,
I'll hug it.
Yeah, can I get hugged?
Yeah, I'll have one of them hugs, please. Night of Black Knives happened when Godywn was put down here. Fortisax stayed with his friend and tried to help fight the corruption. He didn't want to leave him that way, so he kind of just stayed with him. Fortisax wound up being corrupted and became a lich dragon, like an undead dragon. Godwyn's body was interred here. Through the roots, it spread, eyes everywhere. The first thing that happens, though, when we arrive is a boss fight with Fia's champions. And you'll see Rajier again. You'll see Lionel the Lionhearted again because she's hugged him. And then you also run into random other players who hugged Fia. I really like this concept.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if I've made somebody's life a living hell as a boss.
It depends on what your build was when you hugged. If you were the reason people noticed that something was weird about this boss fight too is they're like, that person was naked wearing a jar on their head with two giant hammers. It's like the mismatchedness of the armors and the weapons. Like these are player characters for sure because there is no logic to what they're doing.
That's still so cool that they did that.
Yeah. So you fight these hugged versions of others and Rajier and Lionel. When you win this fight, you get Fia's Mist, which that's the sorcery she used to kill Darian. It specifically can only be used against Tarnished, so the efficacy of it is limited, but it's perfect for trying to kill people in the Round Table Hold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or PvP.
Yeah. And so that's what you acquire here. And this is also when a way gate to Leyndell will open if you have 2 Great Runes. So this is another way to get into Leyndell. You can skip the Altus Plateau completely and not use the front door for Leyndell and actually just get teleported in. You do need to have defeated, get 2 Great Runes, though. At this point, though, you can talk with Fia, and she says, hey, fuck you. I don't care. If you're going to kill me, do what you want to do. She assumes you're there to stop her, and you just go up, and you're like, can I have a hug?
I really need it after the Rune Bear, and there
was a lot of
Basilisk.
scary things down there.
I got killed by a fucking statue earlier.
He knocked me off the roots. I'm so bummed. And then these ghosts were fighting me. And then there was another bear. There was another cave with a bear.
I got stepped on by a mausoleum.
Can I just have a hug? And she's like, for real, man.
I mean, if you want.
I thought you were going to kill me. Yeah, we'll hug it out. And this is when she mentions that she wishes to be a mother to those who live in death. Says it's her duty as the mother to care for them. She's taking on their sins, their ostracization. She's taking on all of the negativity surrounding them herself. And then you get the options to talk in secret, which, I mean, anytime someone's like, come here. Yeah. Close, I'm like, yeah, what's up?
What's going on? What are we talking about?
And then she mentions a bunch. She mentions the Hollow Brand, the Stigmata. She mentions that it's the half-wheel wound of the centipede. Godwyn's Hallowbrand has been recovered, but there's another one out there. Ronnie's Hallowbrand, the Curse Mark of Death. And for me, I'm like, oh, here you go. Like, I have it in my pocket.
Are you looking for this whole thing?
This whole thing? Shit. I sold it off my body. It was on this flippy tower. I have it. Otherwise, she'll like say you need to go look for it and you can bring it back to her. Yeah, she says, how did you find this shit? Oh, God, thanks. This saved me a lot of time, to be honest. This is amazing.
Maybe I should have just talked to you before I did all of this shit. It maybe would have saved me some time. But you know what? Never mind.
Sorry I was threatening you a bunch.
Do you want another hug?
Yeah. Heck, I'll give you a butt slap for that one. A little tap, tap, taparoo. Yeah, she says, with this, Godwyn can take his rightful place as first of the dead and claim a second illustrious life. She says, you are our true champion. She's forgetting that she's like in a marriage, like a union with Godwyn at this point. So she's choosing different pronouns. And though I can't be of any use to you, she's like, can I hold you tight, if only for a moment? And this is when you get an ultra hug.
The super hug.
This is a bigger hug, dude.
Yeah.
You get Radiant Baldakin's blessing, which it's said that a deathbed companion can only produce one of these blessings in their entire life. So she just used her only super hug on you.
Yeah. And you wasted it on me?
And you get this like little piece of garbage, which you can use one time. It's like, helps with your poise. Like, that's great.
But what is that one? 30 seconds or something? 15?
Yeah. You're still going to go sleep with that fish guy? You just get more of a blessing with this.
And at this point, I'm kind of like, are we not going to address the fish in the room?
There's something else going on here that we should talk about. There's a giant dead corpse, which you keep talking about laying with. And she mentions, yes, I will soon lay with Godwyn, and it will surely stir within me. And the new life of the Golden Prince and the first dead of the demigods as the rune of those who live in death. Please do this one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune. So she's using a lot of words and imagery of union, she doesn't like say copulation, but the fact that she's going to lay with them stirs something with inside of her, and she calls the rune her child. It is her and Godywn becoming one, and out. Essentially, she puts both runes inside her mouth, lays with Godywn, and then poops out a rune.
Precisely how it works.
What happens under the blanket in the Dutch oven? No one is quite sure.
Yeah,
but there's a rune at the end of it. And so she lays down, and you go up to her into the deathbed dream, and the dream is epic. The boss is underwhelming, the Lich Dragon Fortisax, because it's fairly easy, but it is the most heavy metal looking boss.
Yeah, his best days are behind him though at this point.
Yeah, because this isn't even really Fortisax. This is like a dream of Godwin's. Like, this is, I believe, a shared dream inside of Fia. You're in there, and it's like Fortisax, even though he's dead, he's living on in the dream, so determined to protect his friend. He doesn't know who these people are invading him, trying to Dutch oven his boy.
Yeah.
He's like, no. And it's like, it's got like spores, like the whole ceiling like turns into this crazy, like rotten looking scene.
It's what I imagine my dog Frank sees when a bird or a rabbit is in the front yard, and he's like, "This is where my human lives. You ain't coming in here."
Yeah, he's just fucking pissed.
You don't want none of this. Woof woof.
And Frank turns out is just a little puppy.
Yeah,
just like Fortisax. Despite being one of the coolest looking dragons, some of the coolest attacks will go down pretty quick. I wouldn't mind it if they made him.
Did they nerf him at all at any point?
No, they haven't nerfed him at all, and they should make him. They should buff him a bunch.
Buff him. I was just thinking what the opposite.
I
of nerf
had
is.
way more problems with the rune bears than this Lich Dragon, which seems weird to me.
Somebody was in charge of making the rune bears, and they wanted to make a boss, and they're like, "I'm gonna make this shit so fucking hard they don't even know."
I don't care. It's gonna be a boss.
You're gonna hate it.
You're gonna hate it. And it's so. I think he's fast enough. Well, he's gonna go twice as fast, and he's gonna hit twice as hard. And he's a bear. What about him? Nothing. He's just a bear. He's really mad though. We're
gonna make him 4 times the size of a normal bear, and he's gonna move like lightning.
And he is going to kill you 1,000 times. But you're gonna go back because you are addicted, and you have a problem with Elden Ring, and you don't know how to stop. So you're gonna go back in that fucking room and get killed in 2 seconds again and again. And then eventually you're going to luck out and say you're the best player ever.
Yeah.
Which we are. Fortisax, though, goes down, and you get the remembrance of the Lich Dragon. So this is a pretty epic boss. You can either get Fortisax's Lightning Spear, which create 2 spears of red lightning, or the incantation, the Death Lightning, which is channels the power of the ancient dragon corrupted with death. It's a storm of death lightning, which is just, all those words are cool together.
Yeah.
You get the mending rune of the Death Prince. Afterwards from Fia. This is formed of the 2 hollow brand half wheels, embeds the principle of life within death into the order. The Golden Order was created by confining destined death. The demigods were no longer able to die. Thus, with the new order, with the mending rune of the Death Prince reinserted, death exists again, things die naturally, and life and death go back to the way it should be. This is one of the better endings out of the 6, in my opinion. Sorry, Dung Eater.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't want to curse the world. I do like chaos, but we'll talk about the endings another episode. And that would be the end, but you reload, and fucking Devin is there. Have you seen Devin? Did you have Devin?
No.
Did you give Devin the armor?
I can't remember which play I gave him the armor in.
But you gave him the armor?
It definitely once. I don't think I did it on my main.
Okay. Because after all of this, once you get the mending rune of the Death Prince, you return, Devin will be there standing over Fia's dead body.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Fucker.
I'll play the audio here. Fia killed Darian, then Yeah, D will kill Fia.
Prince of Death, take a good long look. See the wrath of the Golden Order, the Order's justice writ in blood. This is what's become of your precious witch. Naught but expired meat and bone. This is a proper death, O Prince. Look at this rotten whore. No more children can be got from this useless flesh. Behold, your mother is dead.
My mother's dead. You
I would have killed him. I would have killed him on the spot.
This is revenge, you witch, and you ghoul. This is the wrath of D.
Which is not the coolest thing to say.
The wrath.
Hello.
D.
Now I can look my brother Darian in the eye.
I'm Big Devin. I'm here with my big sword to fuck your dad up.
Yeah. Fuck you, you whore. It's like, whoa. Dude.
Hey, language.
She straight up is just Dutch ovening dudes, and that is not coitus.
Did she kill your brother? Yes.
I think he threatened her, though.
But there was extenuating circumstances while you were asleep.
I go out of my way, bring this armor to you, and you go and do this. And totally fuck everything up. Yeah, his language is insane. If you haven't played Bloodborne, but this is very reminiscent of Alfred, who you think is you're a friend, and then you accidentally help him like curb stomp this vampire lady, and he just like goes off the deep end with revenge and mania.
Obscenities.
Yeah. And if you attack him, he's like, so be it. I will grind you up into pieces and shove you inside that whore mother of yours. And I'm like, dude, just take a fucking glass of water break.
Dude, just breathe. Okay? Just breathe.
Do you need a Snickers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You aren't you when you're hungry.
Whoa. Almost lost my cool.
Actually, you did, Alfred. You lost it.
I should have not done any of this.
I would have killed Devin on the spot if I would have got that.
You can. I mean, you can kill him right there.
Yeah. That's justifiable for me.
Fia's fine with this, though. She knew, like, she had accomplished her goal, so she didn't probably want to die by the wrath of D. But, I mean...
Don't put that on her tombstone.
Yeah.
It's going to be definitely misinterpreted.
Death by D.
The deathbed companion died by the
By
wrath
D.
of D.
By the living D.
Oh.
Night of the living D.
Oh, God.
You can kill him. If you reload the area, he's just gone and the armor's sitting there. So I don't know if he did go fully crazy and just strip naked and run off. He RUNOFT. But his armor's there if you just reload the area and don't kill him. So he's off naked somewhere.
So he accomplishes his goal, and he's like, that's enough killing for me.
Well,
Time for me to go be a farmer.
I really did a lot this time. I'm going to go kill myself. That's, I don't think I can come back from all of this shit.
He had a sobering moment, was like, that got out of hand real fast. You know, the situation just kind of got away from me.
He read his text messages the next day and he's like,
I said, what? I said Wrath of D? Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot.
I called her a whore. 3 times. I don't know if she's that bad of a person. I really went off the deep end there. Yeah. Devin and Darian are 2 knuckleheads, 2 zealots, 2 monsters. There could be a world where I could sympathize with their mission if they weren't crazy. Like, living skeletons. Bad.
Yeah.
I can see your argument. You said the WHORE word a lot last night.
Yeah.
The wrath of D.
I'm on board killing the animated corpses and the boat guys.
I'm going to do it regardless.
Yeah.
I'm not there to help them, but I'm like, I got attacked.
If they're in the way, then I'm gonna help you out.
If I walked through and the Tibia Mariner just like didn't try and kill me, I'd be like, all right, whatever. You can hang out.
That's cool.
We cool? Yeah.
But you stay over there, play your jazz music, whatever that is, the trumpet.
Yeah, and I bring a saxophone.
Should we hit the road?
We could be friends.
You want to start a band?
how does your boat work on land? I mean, how does this work for you? There's a lot of you too. You can actually see like boats with corpses in them down by in Stormvale's basement. So it kind of looks like a Viking funeral on land for these corpses, which might be where some of the Tibia Mariners come from. It's kind of cool.
Maybe that's where they make them.
Yeah, you get the inseparable sword here as well, which is like that sword wrapped with gold and silver. You get that from D. And you've seen Burn After Reading?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, at the end, when J.K. Simmons is like, so what happened? And they're like, oh, she's dead. He's dead. She just wants some money. And that's where it is. Like, well, fuck. Pay her off, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened here? Everyone's dead. We entered a dream. And you just kind of go back to what you were doing, I guess.
Yeah. Then I just turned around. I went to that one cave with the skull that I put on it because there was a rune bear in there. And I'm like, maybe I'm strong enough now.
And nope.
No. I thought the Weeping Peninsula was supposed to be easy.
Yeah. This is a tough area, optional area. It does feel good to get another with the demigods under our belt. I don't know if Godwin's at peace now. He's been laid with,
but he'd been laid with so many times as the star of the quarterback team.
Maybe we don't know a lot about his quarterback years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a little reserved.
Yeah, we don't know. All we know is his the things that he did, not who he was as a person. This is the end of Godwin. This is the end of Fia. We'll mention her again when we get to the endings episode, but we can leave the Nameless Eternal City now. There's nothing else here. At this point, we would be moving down into Noxtella, which is where we'll be on the next episode. We will have a quick jaunt through Noxtella because we talked mostly about the Nox already, and we'll go into the Lake of Rot, eventually up to the Moonlit Altar. And like I mentioned at the top of the episode, we're going to start trying to get Elden Dogs episodes out every other week-ish. It's also would be helpful for me because helpful for us. We're trying to focus on Tears of the Kingdom and Celeste and Dredge and Don't Starve and Resident
Diablo
Evil.
4, Final Fantasy 16 is about to come out.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for the Elden Ring DLC when that comes.
I forgot all about that.
But I'm also ready to button up the last of the lore in my head. Because after we get through the Ronnie stuff, it's up to Far Missoula, which is a big question mark to me as to what's happening up there. I'd like to learn more about the dragons. So that's where we're heading. So if you're on Patreon, like 2 weeks from now will be the next episode. Otherwise, it'll be a month out. Unfortunately, that's just what makes the most sense for the Dogcast. If you want access to these episodes bi-weekly and a bunch of other amazing bonus content, like the lore of McDonald Land, featuring Evil Grimace and the Lone Jogger, which you want to know about, check us out on patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. And thanks to executive producers Rykard Christianick, Malekith the Black Blade, Blackguard Big Brian, Jordan Hoslow, Sorceress of Blood, and Festering Fingerprint Phil. Big thanks to all of our Patreon members. And yeah, we'll be back next time, a month from now, if you're on the main feed, to discuss the Lake of Rot. Otherwise, Indie Games Month is happening. We have Don't Starve, then Celeste, then Dredge, then Inscription. Very excited for all of those.
Yeah. Last time we had Indie Games Month, I found one of my favorite games of all time, and that was Hades.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to play Dredge now that I have a copy.
This is our third Indie Games Month, and yeah, super pumped. Super pumped for all of them, because that first one we did Kentucky Route Zero and What Remains of Edith Finch, and both of those games just blew me away.
Yeah, indie games are great.
Yeah, and it's great because you can also just very easily find the game creators and talk with them. I was messaging the creator of Dredge about life in New Zealand the other day. It was great.
That's wild.
It is wild, but yeah. So we'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening, and give hugs.
Give hugs.
Just know Just if you run into like a naked vagrant, maybe not help him.
Yeah. Don't hug those people.
Don't.
And
Yeah.
if there is a giant fish boy in your life who's dead,
Dutch oven that fucker.
yeah.
We will see you next time.